This is actually expressed in the Old Testament. How much more so is it possible for people like you, people like me, that have received Christ into our life by faith and have actually been born again of the Spirit of God, adopted into his family. Now we have this privilege to come into the actual manifest presence of the Lord. It's not just singing songs. It's not just giving physical response that seems appropriate, raising hands, dancing, kneeling, whatever it might be. It's that, but it's not just that. It's actual response, person to person. It's the acknowledgement of the King of Glory being right here. Something happens in that presence. He starts sharing himself with us more. One of the most bizarre thoughts is to think about how much does he trust you? You can tell how much he trusts you by examining what he has entrusted to you. You can tell how much he trusts you by considering what he's entrusted to you. What has he entrusted to us? His name, his authority, his presence. He's actually given himself to you. And now as worshipers, something starts happening the more he finds his people respond correctly. I don't mean religiously. I don't mean jumping through hoops. I mean, in true regard for who he is, something happens. He begins to manifest his presence more. Something I've prayed, probably the most consistent prayer I think I've prayed for you and for me, is that we would encounter his glory. It's been at least, it'd have to be at least 15 years. That we would encounter his glory. I do believe and realize that sometimes it manifests physically, and I'm as excited as anybody in the room for that. But I can feel a measure of glory in the room this morning, and I don't see any gold dust. I don't see any cloud. There's no lightning flashes. There's no writing on the wall. I'm thankful for it, believe me. I love when he manifests through external means, but I want to be able to recognize when he walks into the room without any visible indicators. And the only way I know to build that into our being, into our system, into the way we live, is to have consistent, regular encounters with the Lord that are not just corporate. I love the public worship, the corporate worship time just as much as anything that we do. I just love so much. But if there's nothing that happens at home, then we're very restricted in where we can go. So here the psalmist says, my heart and my flesh, my body that would normally crave food is craving glory. Judson Cornwell asked a question some years ago. He's a great, great Bible teacher from last century, and actually came to Bethel, goodness, way back in the early 80s, late 70s. And I got to go out to lunch with him once and just sit and listen. And there's a huge sucking sound in the room. It was me, just trying to get everything I could get by being in the same room with him. But I remember him talking about the glory. And he gave an illustration. It went something like this. If you take somebody who's been saved for 50 years and every Sunday morning at the end of a certain hymn, they have this encounter with the Lord. And then you have somebody that's been saved for only 2 years, but every day they have that hour in the presence, in the glory. At the end of 50 years or at the end of 2 years, who do you think will probably be the most like Christ? We instinctively know it's the person that took time in the glory. Why? Here's what I want you to know, that I want you to realize that you already know. We're changed in the glory. The Bible says when we see him, we become like him. It is also true, as we see him, we become like him. I don't mean open vision with the eyes, although that's pretty cool. I'm talking about beholding him with the heart, that actual presence of the Lord. It's the desire to not live distracted. We live such a weird life because we've got our phones that can give us any information we need in a drop of a hat. I mean, somebody will stand up here and mention something about